Given a field 159 feet by 65 feet, how far is it to walk from one corner of the field to the opposite corner to the closest tenth of a foot? Now, of course, we know, since we're in applications of that, whatever the crap they call it, we're going to be using the Pythagorean theorem here, okay? So think about this. And if it helps you to draw a picture, do it, right? Because we know it's a field, so we should be expecting some kind of rectangle at this point. Yeah, but that's not a triangle right there. Well, let's take a look. I'm just going to set this up, and then I'm going to give you a chance to finish it off. Okay, so 159 feet by 65 feet. And these ones are labeled, so we'll make sure that we label our answer. But from here, if you need to reread the problem, do it, and see if you can set this up so that you can solve it as well. And then we'll go over it, okay? Take a minute to do that. Well, if you felt confused on this one, that's okay. But let's go over this so that hopefully you feel a little bit better about it. So remember, it said you're walking from one corner of the field to the opposite corner. So that'd be like starting maybe in the top left and going to the bottom right of that field. Which now, if we get rid of a little bit here, hopefully we can see this now will create a right triangle. Which is, it's just kind of how all triangles are. They're just kind of like half of a, well, parallelogram, but rectangles as well. And now we have this right angle right here, which gives us this right triangle. So we can see that we're dealing with two legs in this case. One of them is 65 feet. The other one is 159 feet. Why isn't it 159 and 65? Because it doesn't matter. So we're going to take the squares of these and add them together, which is going to give us the hypotenuse as a square. So putting these into the calculator, looks like 65 squared was 4,225. And 159 squared, no, it is, 25,281. Fairly large numbers, but we can still deal with those. So again, this is going to be the hypotenuse as a square. And then we can add these two together. Add these two together, which is going to give us 29,506. Well, this is the hypotenuse as a square. So we just want the hypotenuse, though, not the hypotenuse as a square. So, of course, at this point, we're going to square root the hypotenuse. But if I square root one side, I must square root the other side. And the good news is, when I put this into the calculator, it actually just gave me a decimal. So this is the decimal it gave me, 171.7731062. But it did say to round to the nearest tenth of a foot. So that's the first decimal place value. The one to the right is 5 or more. So we're going to add 1 to that 7, making our final answer rounded, 171.8. And this is where we do need a label. It's just a length, so it's just going to be in feet. And again, this is the hypotenuse. Not the hypotenuse as a square, but the hypotenuse. There we go.